Welcome to Write to Publish, your go-to podcast for all things writing and publishing. I'm Karen Stanley, a 14 times published author and the founder of Mabel and Stanley Publishing. Join me as I share a multitude of tips and insights drawn from my own writing and publishing journey. We'll be hearing from some inspirational authors too, who will share their writing experiences and top tips for success. Each week, we'll learn about an aspect of writing, from composition to genre and from publishing to marketing. Listen in as we learn and chat about all things writing and publishing, and let's get you on the right path. Hello, welcome to another episode of Write to Publish with me, Karen Stanley. It's so lovely to have you tuning in or watching on the YouTube if you prefer. So last episode, we talked about self-publishing. We talked about the opportunity, the advantages, and also some of the disadvantages or the caveats. And I promised that in future episodes, we were going to discuss the less comfortable side of publishing, the dodgy bit. And that's what we're going to do this week, spotting red flags and dodgy publishers. It's a minefield out there. So as a publisher, and also on the other side of the fence as a writer, I've seen where the red flags occur. So I've had clients who were talented, intelligent, hardworking writers who've handed over significant amounts of money to companies that did not deliver what they promised. And that's actually very sad and very low on integrity, which is a no-no for me. So you've got people who've worked really hard on their books, were really excited about publishing them, and who got taken advantage of at exactly the moment when they were kind of most vulnerable, really. And the exact same thing happened to me. You've just finished something you care deeply about, you're very excited, and you want it to go well, and then unfortunately you are easy prey. So today we're going to talk about those red flags, the things that should make you stop, take a breath, and ask some very direct questions before you sign anything or you hand over any money. So let's talk about vanity publishing or vanity press. Self-publishing and vanity press are not the same thing. Sometimes they will tell you it is, but it isn't. And we're going to explain that properly. So a legitimate self-publishing route, so whether that's doing it yourself through KDP or Ingram Sparks, or working with a reputable publishing services company, they should still put you in control. You own your rights, you receive your royalties, you make the decisions. Vanity press, sometimes calling themselves hybrid publishing, but they're not a true hybrid publishing company, or supported publishing or partnership publishing. A lot of reassuring words are in those phrases and with good reason. But vanity press works differently. You pay them. There's no harm in paying for publishing services, but you often overpay them. You pay them a lot. They produce the book, often not very good standards. And somewhere in the contract, if you read it carefully enough, you may find that your rights situation is a bit murky. The royalty structure could be a bit poor, or there'll be clauses in there that means they have more control over your book than you do. So not every company using those terms is disreputable, and there are legitimate hybrid publishers doing really good work. I like to think that Mabel and Stanley Publishing is just such a company like that. But this has been used to exploit authors. So let's tell you what they are. Red flag number one. This is the unsolicited approach. If a publisher or a publishing services company contacts you out of nowhere via email, social media, sometimes even via submission, but that you've made to a completely different company, be cautious. Very cautious. Legitimate publishers don't usually cold contact authors. I never cold contact authors. I don't need to. Yeah. So if someone's found your work and is reaching to tell you how it's wonderful it is and they'd love to publish it, ask yourself, how did they find me? What do they actually know about my work? And what exactly are they asking me to do next? If the answer to that last question involves sending money at any stage or in any form, I would stop, okay? And make sure you've done your due diligence. A traditional publisher will pay you. A reputable publishing services company will be transparent about the costs up front, and they will not pursue you to sign up. They'll tell you exactly what you're getting and what it costs. Red flag number 2, guaranteed incomes. If anyone guarantees you bestseller status, media coverage, certain number of sales, chart positions on Amazon, they're either lying, honestly, or they're planning to game a system in a way that will get you a meaningless result. Yeah, vanity metrics. So Amazon bestseller is a category ranking. It refreshes hourly. With enough copies sold in a short enough window in a specific enough subcategory, you can get bestseller status for your book. And it looks great on a screenshot, but it's not the whole picture. Okay, and it doesn't really have a lot to do with actual readership or long-term sales, although it's a great marketing tool. And real success in publishing is slow, is not particularly dramatic, and it's built on genuine readership. Anyone promising you overnight results is selling you something that does not exist. Okay. Red flag number 3, pressure and urgency. We only have 3 spaces left on our program. This price is only available until Friday. We've had a lot of interest in your manuscript and we need to know soon. These are sales tactics, yeah? They're designed to make you act before you've had a time to think clearly or do your research. So a reputable company will give you time to read the contract. You can ask questions, you can take advice, you can make a considered decision. If someone's rushing you, you do need to ask yourself, why are they doing that? Red flag number 4, vague contracts, unclear deliverables. Before you sign anything, you do need to know exactly what you're paying for. Who's doing the work, what the timeline is, what happens if they don't deliver, what your rights are at the end of the process. If a contract is a bit vague on any of these points, ask for clarity. A good company, a reputable company, will not mind. If they can't provide you with clarity, then you're best walking away. On the subject of rights, make sure you absolutely understand who owns your book. Your intellectual property is yours. A contract that will assign your rights to a publisher in exchange for services you're paying for, don't do it. Yeah. And also red flag number 5, if they've got no track record, Google them, Google the company name, Google the names of any individuals involved, Google reviews. Yeah, look at books, buy a couple of books that they've helped to publish and look at the quality, not only of the content, but also of the production. Are they real people? Can you find their books online? Could you speak to any of their authors directly? Could you drop them a message and ask them what their experience was like with this company? If a company's got nothing to hide, they should have a visible, verifiable track record. They should have social proof. They should have credibility. And if you can't find any evidence of that, that in itself tells you something. So, what does a good publishing partner look like? I think it's important. I'm not telling you everyone in this industry is out to get you. They're not. But you do need to know what the difference is between good and bad. So a good publishing services company, consultant, editor, cover designer, you may only use some services. You may use a whole inclusive package, but whoever you use, they should be totally transparent about their pricing, what's included, proud of their work, happy to show it to you, realistic about what publishing can and can't achieve, and genuinely interested in you and your book rather than just your money. They should answer your questions without making you feel like you're being difficult. They should put everything in writing, and happy to do that if you ask them for further clarifications. And they should make you feel supported rather than pressured. So these people do exist. I like to think I'm one of the good guys, along with lots of others. There's very ethical professionals in this industry who will genuinely help you to make a book that you're proud of. But you do know what to look out for, what to run towards, and what to run away from. So the best protection really against any of this is knowledge. The more you understand about how publishing works, the costs, the process, the realistic outcomes, the harder you are to be misled. And if you need to know any more, how to publish a book without getting ripped off is available on Amazon or on PDF for $1.99. The link is in the show notes. I promise you it'd be the best $1.99 you spend if you want to read it digitally. And it will talk you through everything that you need to know so that you can make an informed decision. If you do want to talk about specific publishing packages, if you're just starting out or you're already partway through the process and you're not sure, then do get in touch. Karen at mabelandstanleypublishing.com. And whether we work together or not, I'm always happy to help. I try to be the person I really could have done with when I started my journey back in 2011. So if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, please share to any writer friends who are out there. It really does help us to raise our visibility. It's been wonderful speaking to you again. Good luck, and let's get you on the right path.